Yes, I, Grenada, Carrico, Pity, Monik, and the rest of the world, I'd like to welcome you. Yes, welcome to another Mikey Life program, people. This is where it all happens. We are talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey. I want to welcome the people who are viewing currently on WPG10. You know, nothing happens without you. We want to say thank you for viewing. All those people in Cloge, Florida, Grand Roy, everywhere tuned into the program. I would like to say thank you for viewing, people. We have so many things to tell you about. Things that you have not heard before. Things you're hearing for the first time here. Earlier, I hear a Grenadian is in big trouble in the United States. Just before coming on the program, we were working on a story for all, yeah, boy. That's why we hot, so you know, we're sweating on the program and we have on the AC. We wipe the face, people. So we are real thing to tell, fix the clothes and thing too. We are real thing to tell all about people. So share the business, particularly those of you who are on Facebook. We implore you to share the program. You see, when I share the program, that's how other people get to know that the business has started. That's how other people get to know that the business is on. If you share the program, what it is, like selfishness, Jed. We're trying to keep the program free. And to do that, all we ask of you is to share the business. You know what I mean? Share the business. So immigration fraud in the US. Grenadians said to be in big trouble. NIS contribution to increase from September of 2019. We go tell all you about that business. Oh yeah. There may be some good news. You understand? On the horizon from Mount Pure. Time will tell. And the Spice Mass Corporation says Glenelg is still the water for Spice Mass. And nothing has changed. We'll talk about that business. Earlier, we have the semi-finalists for the Melody Papitet Calypso semi-finals. It's going to be going down this weekend. So that we will talk about. As well as Ebola outbreak is causing concerns. We pick up a thing. You understand? We pick up a thing. In St. Lucia. You understand? So we go share that with all you. So when your neighbor house on fire, you wet yours. You understand? So we'll tell you about that. But anyway, folks, the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of the good folks at WPG10. You see, when we come back, it's gonna be real news. In all the little, get all the water, all the coke, all the whatever it is, because we're coming back with some news for all you. Take all the time.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Wonderful world.
Give your kids a new start this term with back-to-school deals from Quartz. Save big with great deals store-wide. Get desktop, laptops, tablets, backpacks, and so much more. Get it all now with Quartz-ready finance with nothing down and nothing to pay for 30 days. Get a new start back to school with great deals from Quartz. Bringing value home.
The third annual Caribbean Comedy Show. Saturday, August 17th at Spice Basket. Stay locked for more.
I own a cutlass. You see what I've done with it? You want to swear it razor grass. Look, I am a very, very serious man.
The people say that is the best fete in the carnival. None of them are holding secret for me. None of them. The St. Andrews Development Organization, in collaboration with Mr. Elimas Gilbert, say Specky Show 2019 will be a movie. You must wear it. Some man love the rum more than the woman. From Trinidad and Tobago, the Calypsonian who empower women, singing Sandra.
The wife you cock up like a bloody acrobat. The wife at home they can't, she can do that.
From St. Vincent, former soccer monarch Calypso and road match king Posa.
Money gone.
top Grenadian artists. Stay tuned for more info. For vending, call 404-8131. Becky Show, August 4th, St. Andrews Rainbow City Festival weekend. The color is red.
Grenada, hope you're ready for this one as Exterminator Movement presents Job in the Club. Job in the Club. Going down inside the Tin Shop, Paradise, St. Andrew, Saturday, August 3rd. With Grenada's top DJs and artists featuring live, Looney Spark and Electrify. Muddy. Buckwide. Skull Dog. Alma Boy and Squeezehead. Get your Oliver $20 tickets now. Pay more at the door. Tickets are available from Zay's Bar and Quito in Paradise, Bogo's Barbershop Grenville, Golden Auto and Accessories Grenville, Heather's Boutique St. George, Jason's Bakery in Telescope, Patel La Poetry, Kelly in La Poetry, and Eddie Exterminator Family. Action kicks off from 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. And your DJs representing DJ Super, Mixmaster Brent, O2 Sound, 473 Rulers, DJ Brad, DJ Flawless, Exterminator Sound, Soca Lover Steve. So remember, Job in the Club, Saturday, August 3rd, the Tin Shop in Paradise, St. Andrew. It's paint, powder, mud, and water. Job in the Club. So link up the team for this one, Mad.
Yeah, man, this one mad again. All right, all make sure all you attend the business, man. Make sure all you do the thing. All you, we again would like to welcome people who are viewing the program for the first time. We want to let you know that we appreciate you being here. And for those of you who are loyal viewers of the Mikey Live program, again, we'd like to express our thanks and appreciation to you for being part of the program. Now, members of our staff of the Child Protection Authority, CPA, and representatives from relevant stakeholder bodies have been exposed to a series of capacity building sessions since the inception of the in 2019. All right, now the most recent was conducted on Monday, July 22nd on adoption procedure and courtroom etiquette. The one-day workshop was facilitated by Attorney at Law, Ms. Jasmine Redhead. Now the CPA's managing director, Mrs. Yvonne Dabrio, said since the work of the authority is governed by laws, it is important for staff to be up to date on legal procedures as well as be aware of the laws that regulate child protection practices in Grenada. She says, in today's society, legislation is the order of the day. It is important for us to know the legislation. Now, child protection is a very broad field and it has legal implications. Therefore, we must get it right, she says. All right. Now, we went on to say that this workshop is an opportunity for us to learn more so that we are very clear about the do's and the don'ts, the acceptable and the unacceptable. All right. That's Mrs. Yvonne Dabrio speaking there. All right. Now, the workshop addressed topics such as courtroom protocol, child protection and the law, adoption, practice and procedures in Grenada, and it included several role-play exercises aimed at bringing the content learned to life. Now, the training was attended by child protection officers, adoption and foster care officers, residential caregivers, and trainees, among others. Each attendee received a certificate of participation upon completion. We are moving on. Speaking of that, we are working on a story we told you about a couple months ago, where a coach in St. John was being accused of exposing himself to a young girl. We heard that there was judgment in the case yesterday, and he was found guilty and ordered to pay the court somewhere within the vicinity of $750. But people, of course, we want to see the data before we go full force on the business. So give us until tomorrow day about or something like that, and we go tell you. Because you know, every time I come out with them kind of stories, people want to bite out my head. Oh, I don't know nothing. Why don't I go get the facts? Well, the man was found guilty. We told all to take all the time. We doesn't make noise, just take all the time. And the reason why we ain't telling you more tonight is because we are working on some more data about the same case. But I just want all you to know we ain't sleeping on it. And let me leave that talk there. only the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, and Religious Affairs hereby invites interested persons to register for the 2019 induction training and for prospective teachers. Now, this training session is scheduled for August 19 to the 30th, 2019 at the Grenada Boys Secondary School, commencing at 9 a.m. and culminating at 3 p.m. Now, the purpose of the pre-training is to prepare future teachers to enter the teaching profession well equipped with the basic requisite skills at a specified level of education. All right, now you could check out our page because we post it up on our page because we know that people will be interested in knowing more about that. So we put it up on our website, that is mikeylive.com. And folks, let me reiterate. All right, let me repeat it myself. All right, that most of the news articles or news stories that you hear on Mikey Live, you can find it on our website, mikeylive.com. Folks, the next thing that we want to tell you about, the results are out, and we are talking about for the Melody Papitet Calypso semi-final. And the persons who made it through the next round of judging: Rootsman Kelly, Cox, Royalty, Sheldon Douglas, Candy. We have Teacher Eddie, we have Randy Isaac, we have Stunner, Baraka, Big J. I'm gonna support Big J boy. Well, everybody, because they bad. We have Denson Lewis. We have Raymond Matthew the Beast back on the big stage. You understand? So people only expect real thing. Yeah, Beast sing a song about booming. You know, the country booming, who booming and who don't booming. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, a nice song, he catchy and Scholar sing one about booming too. But it seems like the topic of the day is about booming. Scholar like booming, Beast like booming. All of them seem like, yeah. Anyway, let's leave that talk. Yeah, so Beast, we gotta do an interview on the program. And Scholar, we gotta do an interview on the program too. You know what I mean? 2019 is only booming. Right. Also on the list, Mandela Links. We also have The Messenger on the list as well. Killer Bees on there, people. That's the Carriacou Monarch. We have Valine, we have Saw Serpent, we have Prince, we have Scorpion, and we have Superstar. So people, these are going to be the individuals who will be on the big stage. That is on Sunday. Yeah, so the soca will be on Friday, eh? Yeah, and we have the Calypso on Sunday. So all will be part of that, all right? Good. We are moving on. People, we have a real thing to tell all you about. You know, we have the Breaking the Net segment for all you coming up in a moment. We'll get all of that in a moment, all right? You get all of the Breaking the Internet segment just now. So let's move on. Now, the next thing that we have to tell all you, boy, NIS contributions is going to increase from September 2019. Now, the Cabinet of Grenada has approved for the National Insurance Scheme to increase the contributions, you know. So the contributions are going to be, that's increasing is both for the employers and the employees. Now, we had a little promo on the program trying to sensitize and educate people about what is likely to happen and why. So as of September, the employees will be increased to 5% and employers 6%, all right? It used to be 4 and 5%, all right? The employees paid 4 and the employers paid 5. So now it moved from 4 for the employees to 5 and from 5 for the employers to 6. Follow me, all right? But it is still subject to approval, all right? Parliamentary approval. So all you take all the time. You know what I mean? Yo, all you. It may be good news for the people at Mount Pio. Kinda, they get a little relief today because they had a little court session and thing, you know. Attorney Rogers Ferguson and thing, they did file a little injunction in the court and thing, because what they are saying in essence is that it's unfair how Spicemas Corporation would have given advantage to one water company over another and blah, 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 the whole talk and thing like that. And so, you know, the whole thing happened and thing and then business and them. And so now, Montpure, they had filed an injunction to the attorney, through the attorney, Ruggles Ferguson. So today was the court. And Attorney Ruggles Ferguson explained here in this next clip what had happened in the court. And of course, we want to credit Now Grenada for the clip on this one.
First and foremost, the application this morning is what you call an application for judicial review and an interim injunction to prevent Spicemas from inserting into the clauses of contracts of potential vendors for Carnival that seek to exclude the Montpure products. So in order to apply for judicial review, you have to go through a process seeking leave first or permission of the court to apply for judicial review proceedings. And what we are contending is that the procedure adopted by Spicemas to secure contracts for Carnival was wrong. And ultimately, we are seeking certain declarations reflecting that they did not go about it the right way, and the manner in which they did it effectively excluded the sale of Montpure products for the main Carnival activities. So the court granted leave. Or permission for us to proceed to file the judicial review proceedings, and also granted interim relief, meaning in the meantime that Spicemas is not to include those clauses in the contract, and they gave an interim declaration stating that to put those clauses in the contract would be in violation of the Public Procurement Act. So we have 14 days now to actually file the judicial review proceedings.
Thank you very much. Attorney Ferguson also stated that in their opinion, the contract between the Spicemas Corporation and the water company is null and void.
We are contending that the process is illegal. Now, part of the challenge, as you know, Carnival is just 2-3 weeks away. Because of the process, that the court will not be able to determine that matter finally. So that is up in the air as to whether or not it could be done. We are contending that the contract that they entered into is void because as a public entity, remember Spicemas Corporation is not a private entity, it is a public entity. And if it's a public entity, then there are certain procedures you must follow in accordance with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, Act number 39 of 2014. But they did not follow these procedures. And basically what should have been involved is that they should have invited tenders. Especially as they're making it exclusive, they should have invited tenders to bid, and the Montpure indicated very early in the game, since September 2018, that they were interested in becoming a sponsor for Carnival. So what that act says is that the objective of the act is to ensure that there's a level playing field, ensure that you promote, not stifle Carnival. And that's all part of the objectives of the act. So having done it, we contended that what flowed from that wrong procedure is void. So that matter has not been decided. We have just gotten some interim relief, which says that, listen, from now on, they ought not to put those clauses in the contract.
Thank you very much, Attorney Ruggles Ferguson, and we have since heard from the Spicemas Corporation on this. Now, the Spicemas Corporation, through a press release, says that the sponsorship agreement between the Spicemas Corporation and Glenelg was not impeached or overturned by the court when the application filed by McQueen Enterprises, trading as Montpure, against the Spicemas Corporation came on for hearing on the 23rd of July 2019. It goes on to say that the agreement remains in place and that Glenelg is still the official sponsor for water for Spicemas 2019. The court has not given McQueen Enterprises Trading as Mount Pure express permission to sell water products at carnival events for Spicemas 2019. There was no determination made as to whether the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act applied or not, as the court held that this was arguable and is to be ventilated at a full trial on the matter. All right. Now, the permission was granted to McQueen Enterprises Trading as Mount Pure to file judicial review proceedings within 14 days. Now, the Spicemas Corporation wishes to advise that all vendors who have been issued a vendor's license, that the vending license process is now closed. The corporation does not anticipate that there will be any further issues in relation to the contents of the vending license. Very interesting perspective. But also, Attorney Ruggles Ferguson has a bit to say as well on what happens next.
The court has not finally determined that matter. And because Carnival is so close that there is no time based on the procedural steps that must be followed. So, for example, within 14 days, we have to file a claim for judicial review. That will take us almost close to Carnival Monday, the first August Monday. Then that leaves almost Carnival the next week. So the issue is wide open because the court has not determined these final issues as yet. So it is a matter for the individuals to proceed as they are legally advised. But what I can tell you is because they fail to follow a mandatory process, then we are contending that those contracts they entered into were void.
All right, folks, we want to say thank you to Attorney Ruggles Ferguson on that one. And since we are talking about what, I think it's time for us to take a quick dip because it's real hot.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
What is that?
No. No.
In other news, now that we're done and over with all the water talk, something serious is happening out there that I want to tell all you about. You understand? A Brooklyn man accused of immigration fraud, submitting hundreds of fake applications. Folks, and we are hearing, and of course, we are just hearing that the individual at the center of this controversy, at the center of this scandal, happens to be a Grenadian. We have people working to verify same for us. But in the meantime, hear this. According to News Worldwide, a New York City man was arrested on Tuesday for allegedly running an immigration fraud scheme that involved filing over 1,800 fake immigration applications over the past 4 years. Now, that's according to a press release from the Department of Justice office in Vermont. Brooklyn resident Aldridge Louison, 53 years old, he was arrested by Diplomatic Security Services, the DSS agents, who executed a federal search warrant at his office. Now, Louison's arrest comes less than a week after a federal grand jury returned a 12-count indictment charging him with presenting false adjustments of status petitions to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Center. All right, now here's what. The Office of the United States Attorney for the District of Vermont, which conducted the probe, said that Lewison made false statements in connection with Form I-360 petitions for status adjustments under the Violence Against Women Act, the VAWA. Now, a law that enables immigrants to become lawful permanent residents of the United States if they were abused by a relative who is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. No, Lewison allegedly submitted false information in the VAWA petition. We just explained what it was. Petitions, so that petitioners could secure work authorization permits. Now, last week's indictment charged that the petitioners who paid Lewison for his services were not abused as described in the petitions and never discussed abuse with Lewison. Follow me? You understand? They say that Lewison filed false statements with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, including more than 1,800 fraudulent applications for over 1,000 petitioners in the last 4 years. The question is, how does this affect those whose status was successfully changed as a result of these applications? Folks, based on our preliminary investigation, you wouldn't even want to know how it was found out that he was involved in the business. We ain't going there yet. That is for street talk. We ain't going there. In fact, we might never go there. That is street talk. Find out that for all yourself. We're just telling all what matters. Now, Lewison was scheduled to appear in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of for New York on Tuesday. All right, according to the release. Now, we will continue to follow the business. All I want to pick, all I want to see picture, all the dread, you know. All asking for picture and all kind of thing. All the real dread, I picture, but we leave that for tomorrow. Because what I'm saying, we don't pack the jail bag yet. You understand? People, they say right now some people scared. Big scandal, you know. You know what I mean? Big scandal. So let's see how I'm going to play out, people. You understand? Unconfirmed reports indicate that the man is a Grenadian. You know what I mean? Leave that talk there. Yeah, somebody gonna rat the man out, and somebody gonna rat out the man, and say, yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe ball a little easy up there in truth, you know. Yeah, but I'm laughing. All little easy, all the jet, you know. Yeah, all the jet, you know. Anyway, let's leave that talk there. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy, them people up there jet. I ain't lying. Anyway, let me see how I'm gonna play out there, Papa. John No Star. Big scandal. The National Water and Sewerage Authority, NWASA, advises consumers served by the Primrose water system that due to system maintenance, you would experience interruption in your water supply. Well, you had an interruption today, and I think you're going to have one tomorrow, God's willing. Yes, Primrose, Malmont, Lower, Latant, parts of Felix Park, Bellevue, Rucane, and surrounding communities. You are therefore encouraged to collect and store water in clean, covered containers prior to the scheduled interruption. You're also advised that although the system will be reopened at 2 p.m., some, especially those in the elevated areas, may not receive your supply until 2 hours after the scheduled restoration period. And the authority apologizes for any inconveniences likely to be caused as a result of this And as well, the National Water and Sewage Authority advises the following customers served by the Pleasance water system in the parish of St. Andrew that due to system maintenance, you will experience an interruption in your water supply 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Pleasance, what? La Cha Chut? With eyes? Never heard that yet. La Cha Chut? Or shoot? La Cha Chut? I never hear that yet. Richmond, The Blando, Walker, Post Royal, Tuileries, Battle Hill, and surrounding communities. All right. Now again, you're encouraged of the same thing: store water and clean cover containers prior to the interruption in supply. Blah 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 blah. All right, cool. How are we looking for time? All right. So people, here what going on? We are thing to tell all you. Don't play all the institution thing. Share the program. Some of all the share. I don't get real hard with all you coming on the program and don't want to share. Share the program so people like your friends and them go see. But some of all doesn't want to share because they want people to see all the behavior on the program. Some of all don't have no behavior. All only have an opinion, no behavior. Speaking of opinion, yeah, that program last night by talking about the hand thing and anyway, let's leave that talk there. Folks, we are real thing to tell you about concerns about Ebola spiking shootings, a major concern for the people out there in St. Lucia. All right, we're going to talk about that as well. We have a man whose house was burned to the ground by fire and he was missing. You don't want to know what the authorities recently discovered. Again, we're talking about St. Lucia. We like to send you St. Lucian stories. We have a lot of our viewers who are actually from St. Lucia. Plus, we have the national report, and there's a lot that's going to be happening in the national report. So we are everything to tell all that about now. But here what I want to do now. I want to take a break. I want to do it. I'll do it quick, and it'll be short. So we're taking a quick short break or a short quick break. Anyone you want to do, we're coming back.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Grenada, hope you're ready for this one as Exterminator Movement presents Job in the Club. Job in the Club. Going down inside the Tin Shop, Paradise, St. Andrew, Saturday, August 3rd. With Grenada's top DJs and artists featuring live, Lunis Park and Electrify. Muddy. Buckwide. Skull Dog. Alma Boy and Squeezehead. Get your Oliver $20 tickets now. Pay more at the door. Tickets are available from Zay's Bar and Quito in Paradise, Bogoso Barbershop Grenville, Golden Auto and Accessories Grenville, Heather's Boutique St. George, Jason's Bakery in Telescope, Patel La Poetry, Kelly in La Poetry, and Eddie Exterminator Family. Action kicks off from 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. And your DJs representing DJ Super, Mixmaster Brent, O2 Sound, 473 Rulers, DJ Brad, DJ Flawless, Exterminator Sound, Soca Lover Steve. So remember, Job in the Club, Saturday, August 3rd, the Tin Shop in Paradise, St. Andrew. It's paint, powder, mud, and water. Job in the Club. So link up the team for this one, Mod.
The people say that is the best fete in the carnival. None of them holding secret for me. None of them. The St. Andrews Development Organization, in collaboration with Mr. Eli Gilbert, say Specky Show 2019 will be a movie. You must wear it. Young man, love the rum more than the woman. From Trinidad and Tobago, the Calypsonian who empower women, singing Sandra.
The wife you cock up like a bloody acrobat. The wife at home they can't, she can do that.
From St. Vincent, former Soca Monarch, Calypso, and Road Match King, Posa. And top Grenadian artists. Stay tuned for more info. For vending, call 404-8131. Becky Show, August 4th, St. Andrews Rainbow City Festival weekend. The color is red.
want no money, I going still. All when they think we done, I going still. Anytime you see me, I going still. I jump and I'm falling down, and I going still. We having a good time in the venue. Me and my squad. Tell you it's mass in the venue. Me and my squad. Telling you trouble in the venue. Me and my squad. You must let me out. Me and my squad. The girls are winding up. At toi. Fellas taking up. At toi. How she back it up. At toi.
St. Mark's, get ready. AMG World together with Great Connection present Job on the Beach. Job on the Beach. And it's all going down Sunday, July 28th, Duquesne Beach. And we're starting this one from early. Your artists coming to cheer it up. Job King.
Move like I'm so jobless. The girls in power with us.
Sarah the Governor.
How we stay on top of things. How we stay on top of things.
Hyena Job and Sosa. Rune Spark Electrified.
Boy, come Lewis on the Bacchanal.
Talpri, Young Mickey, Slider, Contagious, Money Family, Little Jello, Uber, Maserati Family. Your activities, Domino Competition, Small Go Competition, Greasy Pole, Running Race, and Bunks and Castle for the kids. Your DJs coming to cheer it up. Ace the Killer, Top Shutter, Mix Master Brent, DJ Stunner, Selector J-Boy, Southside Production, hosted by Gates and Timeless. Duquesne Beach, get ready. And I tell you, all the prizes to be won: flat screen TV, blender, and cell phone giveaways. Remember, we're starting this one from early. Come out with the family. Job on the Beach, Duquesne St. Mark's. So we're calling out Victoria, Sautez, Guaptown. Just run up in on this. Job on the Beach.
Yeah, that's right, man, and welcome back to Mikey Live, and we are happy that you're still here with us. Now, the folks out there in St. Lucia, they are quite concerned about the apparent spike in gun-related crimes happening there. But in the interest of time, I just want to skip that and share with you concerns expressed by the authorities in St. Lucia about the current Ebola crisis happening in West Africa. And of course, I think it's only relevant to share and fair to share this with you at this point.
The Ebola virus outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been officially declared a global health emergency. The announcement was made by the World Health Organization (WHO) last Wednesday after health officials reported that it should have been made sooner. The deadly virus has already claimed over 1,600 lives since August last year. As it stands, it is now the second deadliest outbreak since the last epidemic in West Africa from 2014 to 2016, which claimed over 11,000 lives. Declarations of global health emergencies usually prompt a coordinated response from at-risk countries. St. Lucia's Ministry of Health and Wellness issued their first statement on the international concern of the Ebola outbreak in Congo.
This year, on July 17, the World Health Organization made a declaration and declared that the ongoing Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo can be considered a public health emergency of international concern. This situation came about as, in spite of the measures being implemented right now in that country to control the outbreak, due to the fragile health system as well as ongoing war in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it has been very difficult to control the Ebola outbreak.
Since the start of the outbreak, reports said that more than 2,500 people have been affected and 2/3 of them have died. A vaccine was developed following the 2014 outbreak and is said to be 99% effective. According to the BBC, approximately 161,000 people have received the vaccine. The Chief Medical Officer at the Ministry of Health says the risk of St. Lucia receiving a case of Ebola is extremely low.
What does that mean for us in the Caribbean and in St. Lucia? In the Caribbean and in St. Lucia, our risk of getting a case of Ebola is extremely low. It is extremely low, but we do know that due to travel, the possibility exists, regardless of how low it may be. Though the outbreak continues in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the World Health Organization has indicated that at this point in time, it is not necessary for countries that are far away, such as countries in the Caribbean, to implement excessive screening measures at their ports. Persons may recall that during the last Ebola scare, we had in St. Lucia at some point in time implemented some screening measures at our ports, but that is not indicated at this point in time.
Symptoms of the Ebola virus include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, and a sore throat. It then progresses to vomiting, diarrhea, and both internal and external bleeding. Coming in direct contact with an infected person's mouth, nose, blood, bodily fluids, vomit, or feces puts one at risk of contracting the virus. Patients tend to die from dehydration and multiple organ failure. Dr. Marlene Fredericks-James says the ministry has informed stakeholders and there are plans to meet with the National Health Security Committee in order to inform persons on a national level.
We have also reactivated our Ebola preparedness plans and will continue sensitizing persons and will also continue monitoring the situation. The Ministry of Health has direct communication with the Pan American Health Organization and the Caribbean Public Health Agency. And we also receive direct information from the World Health Organization through its IHR, or International Health Regulations Committee, as well as the alert system. So we are continuing to monitor the situation and we will keep persons updated.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness also advised travelers to delay their plans if it involves traveling to the Democratic Republic of Congo. In the event that it is not possible, the ministry needs to be alerted in order to carry out the necessary measures to protect the general public. Lizanne Boville, HTS News Force.
Very interesting, and of course, everything that is said there, I believe, reasonably applies to us. All right. Charred remains of a man who was missing following his house being totally burned to the ground. We have more on that for you from, again, HTS News Force out there in St. Lucia.
These are the remains of what is suspected to be the body of Steve Bernard, also known as Biko of Talvin, Babono. Bernard, known to be mentally unstable, has been missing since the fire that consumed his house last week. Although the police are awaiting proof from forensics, Mrs. Marie suspects that the body found beneath the debris may be that of her brothers.
I received a message on my phone on Tuesday afternoon that my brother's house was burnt. Wednesday, I called some people in the neighborhood to ask about him, but nobody had seen him since the fire. So on Thursday morning, I left home really early and I went to look for him, about 6. When I got there was no sign of him anywhere. So I started asking the neighbor, went door to door, asking people had they seen him, since the fire. Nobody had seen him, so I was a little concerned. And I decided to walk around the burnt building. As I walked around, I noticed a particular area had a lot of flies. And it had me thinking, why are there flies on a wooden structure that was burnt, Then I looked a little closer and saw some green flies. There were quite a few green flies, in that area. And I figured something was there that was attracting the flies.
The presence of flies at a specific area among the rubble was what raised suspicion, and this caused the victim's sister to seek help from the police.
I saw the fire truck. I think they were doing some routine checks in the area. So I stopped them and asked, if they were the ones who had come out there and put out the fire and if they had seen my brother. And the gentleman said, well, we were not the ones, but we are aware of it. And I spoke about my suspicion and the flies, and they said to me, call the police station, which I did. And I waited. The police came, 3 police officers came. They looked at the area that was the concern, and then they said there was something there that was looking suspicious. So they didn't go down to look at it because I suppose they didn't have the right gear. So they called the crime scene. When the crime scene officers came, they got dressed, went down there, and there was what looked like a body. So they cleared it, and it was a body.
The remains were taken by the police and will be sent overseas for DNA testing to confirm the identity of the body. For the family of Steve Bernard, it may be a few agonizing weeks before they receive confirmation that the charred remains are indeed that of their beloved brother. Melissa Paul, reporting for the HDS News Force.
Now you tell me something. This is, I don't know, man, that's dread. Yeah, that's dread. I guess as much it's because he's a poor man and somebody who is of some sort of mental inability, that he was treated in with such disregard, you know. But anyway, I mean, come on, man. Like, seriously, you know, when you hear stories like that, it breaks your heart. Yeah, it really breaks your heart, because you can't. Anyway. All right, let's go. All right, folks, what we have for you right now, we have the national report for you, and there are some interesting inserts there for you. All right, so let's just get to that. We are, in fact, running out of time. Here is your national report.
NIS contribution rate to be increased to 11% from September. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, July 23rd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenada's National Insurance Scheme contribution rate will be increased to 11% from September 1st. The recommendation for the increase was made following the 11th actuarial review. The reviews have been proposing that the NIS make incremental changes in the contribution rate and retirement age to avoid the risk of depleting its reserves. Consultations were held with stakeholders and the public, informing them of the results of the review, the recommendations, and the consequences of not adhering to the recommendations. Honorable Oliver Joseph, Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives, and CARICOM Affairs, who facilitated Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, said Cabinet approved the recommendations of the Board of NIS to increase the rate from 9 to 11%. This will be paid by both the employers and employees.
This is to be shared equally between employees and employers. The employers will pay 1% additional and the employee 1%. The current formula is that employees contribute 4% and employers 5%. In this new arrangement, employers will pay 6% and employees 5%, bringing it from 9% to 11%. This increase will take effect from the 1st of September 2019.
Minister Joseph says although Grenada is behind on approving the increase to the retirement age, there needs to be more public consultations.
Consideration has been given for an increase in the age of retirement. However, Cabinet asked for more consultation with stakeholders on the effective date for the age. But what has been finalized is that the increase in contribution rate will move from 9% to 11% effective 1st of September 2019. I must say that following extensive consultation with the general public and all stakeholders, there was tremendous support for both the increase in contribution and the retirement age. As you are aware, most Caribbean countries have already increased the age of retirement and the contribution as well. We are way behind in this regard, and therefore we think this is the right time.
Government, through the Attorney General, will file an appeal against a recent judgment in court, which paves the way for anyone with a money judgment against the government to move to obtain garnishee orders in a law court against government funds. A garnishee order is a form of enforcing a judgment debt against a creditor to recover money. The Honorable Oliver Joseph, Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives, and CARICOM Affairs, said during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing that if a garnishee order is issued to recover money that government owes to people, government's accounts can be frozen until it satisfies the debt. He says this can have serious financial implications for the government.
So Cabinet has instructed the Attorney General to file an appeal against the judgment and also to seek a stay of the judgment. In other words, so that the judgment will not be implemented, because you could well imagine a situation where government has its account to meet salary obligation at the end of the month and cannot use the money until it meets its debt obligation to the order from the court seeking to get payment. And so this is an extremely important development. And as you know, government, we have to respect the decisions of the court. We live in a law, we are law-abiding people and always respect decisions of the court. So the appeal will be filed, and we will await the ruling of the appeal court in this matter.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Every summer. All right, so folks, what we have to do, we have to cut the National Report because we have run out of time. It happens from time to time, not very often, but of course we have to apologize for that because we have a commitment to the TV network to end the program just at this point in time now. So let's just quickly take a look at the weather and see what's going on there, and then we're going to wrap it up for tonight. All right, guys, so as you can see, there's a chance of rain tonight. Nighttime showers. All right, so the minimum temperature is expected to be about 25 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour, gusting higher times. Seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open waters. And in terms of your weather for tomorrow, it's expected to be partly cloudy with a low chance of a few brief morning and nighttime showers. Maximum temperature 31.5 degrees Celsius, minimum 25 degrees Celsius, winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open waters. And that's your weather for tomorrow as well. So we expect some showers tonight, and we hope they come. You know, it makes sleeping much more comfortable. And of course, we want to say hello to Sherman, Zaka, Shireen, Peterkin, Noreen, Clotilda, Eugenia, Kevin, and we have Zaka, Cynthia, Rose, Alison, Kirina, Lydia, we have Suzette, La Recolette, I think. I don't forget anything here, man. Anyway, Patsy, who else? We have Deborah, and everyone else, Eugenia, everyone, Kevin, Neki, Donna, Marilyn, JJ, Louis, and Rolanda, and everyone on the program, man. Angel, I see you there, and Rachel, everyone else, man, on the program. We want to say thank you for viewing, and we'll touch base with you tomorrow, God's willing. All right, guys. Also, the folks out there in Norway, I met a lady today. She said she's in Norway. She always views the program, and everyone else who's always on the program, man. We wanted to know that we appreciate you all the time. And again, we want to remind you folks that a lot of the stories that you hear on the program, you can find them on our website, which is mikeylive.com. Sometimes it posts a story or two before we even come on the program, at least, so that you can reference some of the information that we give here on the program by going on to the website. Tomorrow, God's willing, we intend to have another interesting program for you. Friday, things will be a little different because we have to go up to the semi-final of the Soca, of course, so we would not have our regular program on Friday, God's willing. We got to let that out there right now. All right, folks, so again, we want to let you know that we appreciate you being on the program. God bless you and the family. Of course, if you want to be a member of the Mikey Live Helping Hands Foundation, whether you're in Canada, the US, or here in Grenada, you can speak to some of the popular people like Suzette and the crew and Kevin and them who are in Canada. You can check them out there. If you're in Canada, if you are in the US, you can check Allah and the crew there. And if you're in Grenada, you can speak to myself or Kirin or any one of the other members. And of course, we can take it from there. The Mikey Life Helping Hand Foundation, we are there to provide assistance to people, Grenadians in particular, who needs it. All right, we do so by having our relief fund and so on. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to go into too much details at this point, but just know that we are set up so that we can assist people who are not able to do so for themselves. That's what we are about, basically. If you want to make a contribution, let us know, and of course we will gladly appreciate that as well. God bless you. Have a great evening. Mom and the crew who are currently tuned in, I'd like to say hello to you guys as well. All right, so let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we all say ja no. Good night, everyone. God bless you.